If Jordan had a 48-inch vert, he should be sitting on the rim. I've touched the top of the backboard and I've touched higher. I've dunked on a 12-foot, 7-foot goal.
In a bold and unexpected twist, Dwight Howard just challenged one of the most iconic myths in NBA history. We've all heard the story. Michael Jordan had a 48-inch vertical leap. But now Dwight says that's cap. According to him, there's no way Jordan ever jumped that high, and he has the proof to back it up. Today, we're diving into 6 revealing quotes from Dwight and others who are beginning to pull back the curtain on one of basketball's most legendary claims. Is the Jumpman jump really exaggerated, or is Dwight just trying to rewrite history? Stick around as we unpack each quote one by one. And before we jump into the heat, hit that like button, subscribe to NBA Showdown, and tap that notification bell so you never miss the truth behind the game. Dwight starts off strong by dismantling the logic behind the 48-inch vertical claim. He says flat out that if Jordan really had that kind of lift, then he should have been able to sit comfortably on the rim. That's not just a jab, that's geometry. Dwight knows what a 48-inch vertical looks and feels like because he's been at the peak of it himself. He isn't just making noise for attention. This is a guy who's competed in slam dunk contests, blocked thousands of shots, and has touched higher points on a backboard than most athletes ever dream of. So when he says Jordan's vertical doesn't add up, that statement carries weight. For Dwight, this isn't about disrespect, it's about realism. If someone's going to claim they had that much air, then we need more than just grainy footage and tall tales. We need evidence. And from Dwight's view, that rim-sitting claim just does not line up.
If Jordan had a 48-inch vert, he should be sitting on the rim.
Dwight does not stop there. He adds a second layer to his breakdown. If Jordan really had a 48-inch vertical, then not only should he be able to sit on the rim, he should also be able to rotate, balance, and control his body midair with ease. That's the next level athleticism a leap that high would require. But Dwight says we never really saw that from Jordan. Sure, Jordan was explosive. He soared through the air with grace, elegance, and power, but a controlled 48-inch leap? According to Dwight, that is a stretch. He points out how even with modern technology, a vertical of that magnitude is rarely seen, and when it is, it's obvious. The rotation, hang time, and aerial manipulation are on full display. Dwight feels Jordan had impressive hops, but not at the level that defies basic biomechanics. The logic is simple. Jumping high is one thing, but controlling that jump is what separates fact from myth.
He should be able to turn around and sit on the rim.
That's what they call him, Air Jordan.
At this point, Dwight brings in his own resume. He states that he's touched the top of the backboard and even higher on customized goals set at 12 feet or more. That's not talk, that's physical proof. When Dwight compares what he's done to what is said about Jordan, he finds the math doesn't add up. Dwight is not saying Jordan wasn't elite. What he is saying is that the numbers have been bloated. This is where he gets into real specifics. He says flat out that what he's achieved should be the measuring stick, and based on that, he just can't see Jordan pulling off a true 48-inch leap. Dwight acknowledges Jordan's iconic status, but to him, it's important to keep the conversation grounded. The top of the backboard is over 13 feet in the air. If Jordan had really been able to leap that high, Dwight believes the footage, angles, and media frenzy would have shown it loud and clear.
I've touched the top of the backboard and I've touched higher. I've dunked on a 12-foot, 7-foot goal.
Dwight takes the conversation into deeper territory when Patrick Bet David brings up Spud Webb's vertical leap, a verified 46 inches. That's when Dwight drops a bombshell. He says these vertical leap numbers, whether about Wilt Chamberlain or Michael Jordan, might just be part of a long-standing tradition of exaggeration in basketball folklore. He jokingly calls them Wilt lies, referencing how many fans and historians treat Wilt's 100-point game or bench press feats with heavy skepticism. By doing this, Dwight places Jordan's vertical in the same realm, possibly embellished to elevate an already legendary image. The way Dwight sees it, vertical measurements weren't as regulated or scientifically verified back in the day as they are now. So, claims like Jordan's 48-inch leap should be taken with caution, especially when it doesn't match what we see with our own eyes. Dwight doesn't deny Jordan's greatness, but he's calling for truth over tradition.
He was 46 to 40. 46, yeah, there's spud. At
And Michael
5'7", he won a
Jordan
dunk
had a
contest.
48-inch vert. I feel like those are wilt lies.
When pressed for a specific number, Dwight does not hesitate. He says confidently that the highest vertical Jordan probably had was around 42 inches. Now that is still elite, but it's a far cry from the mythic 48. According to Dwight, if anyone really had that kind of vertical, it would be obvious in every jump, every dunk, every block. And while Jordan was explosive, he wasn't out-jumping everyone to that degree. In today's era, vertical leap testing is monitored to the inch. Players have video analysis, advanced biomechanics, and strength coaches that track it all. So Dwight is saying, look, I've played in this era, I've trained with the best, and I've seen guys like Zach LaVine, Ja Morant, and Aaron Gordon up close. Jordan, great, but not in that superhuman tier when it comes to pure leaping. It is not about hating, it is about historical accuracy.
Mike's a vertical leaper. It's not 48.
I mean, he probably got a good 42.
Finally, Dwight seals the conversation by offering his top 5 dunkers of all time, and while this list is bound to spark debate, it shows where Dwight places Jordan in the grand scheme. He puts himself at number 3, just behind Vince Carter at number 1, and Michael Jordan at number 2. That is actually a massive compliment, but it also solidifies Dwight's point. He believes he outjumped Jordan and should be credited accordingly. Dominique Wilkins and Daryl Dawkins round out the list, and each name has its own style and flair. What Dwight is really saying here is that Jordan was one of the best, but not the best when it comes to athleticism or vertical dominance. The GOAT label should be given for skill, dominance, and winning, not inflated athletic stats. And Dwight, ever the showman and athlete, wants his own legacy to be respected too. Not overhyped, but honest and earned.
Okay, I put myself 3. Before, at number 1 is Vince Carter. You got to go with Mike. Then you got Dominique Wilkins.
4? Who's 5?
Daryl Dawkins.
Dwight Howard has never been shy to speak his mind, and this time he's going straight at the heart of NBA mythology. The 48-inch vertical claim tied to Michael Jordan might sound cool in books and documentaries, but Dwight is calling it what it likely is, a stretch. He's not doing it out of disrespect, he's doing it to keep the conversation real. With first-hand experience, elite athleticism, and no shortage of receipts, Dwight is demanding that we separate myth from measurable, and in doing so, he's shaking up how we talk about legacy and greatness. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more unfiltered truths from the hardwoods, slam that like button, subscribe to NBA Showdown, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a moment where facts meet fire. See you in the next one.